करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।
We begin with the poem The Turkey and the Ant.
The turkey and the ant. In other men we false can spy, and blame the mote that dims their eye. Each little speck and blemish find, to our own stronger errors blind. A turkey tired of common food forsook the barn and sought the wood. Behind her ran her infant train, collecting here and there a grain. Draw near, my birds, the mother cries, the hill delicious fare supplies. Behold the busy Negro race, see millions blacken all the place. Fear not, like me with freedom eat, an ant is most delightful meat. How blessed, how envied were a life, could we but escape the poulterer's knife. But man, cursed man, on turkey preys, and Christmas shortens all our days. Sometimes with oysters we combine, sometimes assist the savory shine. From the low peasant to the lord, the turkey smokes on every board. Sure, men for gluttony are cursed, of the 7 deadly sins the worst. An ant who climbed beyond her reach thus answered from the neighboring beech, ere you remark another sin, bid thy own conscience look within. Control thy more voracious bill, nor for a breakfast nation skill. John Gay.
As we discussed in the last class, these English poems are small short poems compiled by Swamiji. They are not obviously written or authored by Swamiji, but they are all written by various classical English poets. And maybe we have studied some of these poems in our schools also. And it's a collection of about 17-18 short poems there in the book, and apart from that some 3 long poems also. And the first poem is by John Gay, and the poem is titled The Turkey and the Ant. The story aspect of that is very simple. A turkey is living in a barn. Barn is a place where grains are stored. So obviously there is enough supply of food for the turkey there. But it leaves the barn and it seeks some other food because it is tired of that. So with her children, the turkey goes along to a nearby hill where she sees a lot of ants, black ants, and ant is something that turkey likes very much. So she eats and kills them and starts eating them and encourages the children also to eat. As the turkey is consuming the ant, suddenly it now has another thought about her own security of the turkey. So she is blaming that man is killing turkey, and particularly on Christmas days they are killed, and therefore she is complaining against this nature of the human. As she is complaining, one particular ant which goes beyond her reach, it is only asking turkey that before you complain about human beings, you please look into your own conscience and look within yourself and see what you are doing. You have to control your appetite, you have to control your bill. Bill means the beak of Turkey, because you are killing nations of ants, millions and millions of ants for one breakfast, and you are complaining about the human being. This is the point. Very simple, but a very, very effective poem. The first 4 lines and the last 4 lines are the essential message of the poem. Those who have got the Select English Poem books, please go through this poem. Others, I would recommend that you buy this book. It's a wonderful collection of this poem, and plus the commentary of Swamiji is also available for you at the end of each poem. That particular line which talks about the essential message of the poem is highlighted by given in italicized font. It is given differently for us to spot it. Maybe that alone is not there in the original, otherwise the entire poem is there as it is. But these are the important lines that we need to understand, maybe memorize also. So those particular lines are given italicized there. So this poem talks about 2 particular messages or values, or 2 particular aspects of our human mind. In other men we false can spy and blame the mote that dims their eye. Each little speck and blemish find to our own stronger errors blind. Probably the author is inspired by a quotation from Bible. It also uses the same mote, the word. It is found in Matthew 7:5. Thou hypocrite, first cast out the beam out of thine own eye, and then shalt thou see clearly to cast out the mote out of thy brother's eye. Sorry. Yeah. So what he says is, it is very easy for us to find the faults in others. Mote means a very small speck, a very small particle that is there in their eye. Also very easily we spot it out. Each little speck and blemish we find, but our own stronger errors blind. But the same thing that is there within us 100 times more, 1000 times more maybe, we are oblivious to it. We don't know that. Now why does this happen? This talks about the extroverted nature of human mind. Extroverted means the mind is always turned outward. That is the meaning of the term extroverted. Introverted means the mind is turned inward. What is this outside and inside? For a general understanding, you can keep it this way. When you open the eyes and what you see is outside, when you close your eyes and what is being understood inside, or where you have the focus upon your mind, intellect, thoughts, etc., that is inside. In a general way, I am saying. Now, why is it that we tend to be extroverted? Of course, we may not get into the deepest philosophical discussions here, but it is all connected to the core principles of Vedanta. That the mind believes obviously that there is pleasure outside, and it always seeks something from outside to fulfill itself, and that is the nature of the mind, to seek something outside itself. But an interesting aspect of this extroverted nature of our mind is, whenever we tend to look at others, whenever we try to look at others, what is it that immediately that strikes us? Usually we find the fault in others. Usually we find, in other words, it is sort of a negative tendency of the mind. Even if there are 1000 things to praise in another person, the first thing the mind tends to spot is what is wrong with that person. Even if the neighbor has got a, let's say, a Mercedes car. Okay, one is that you celebrate that, but you may not be at that stage, at least be neutral to that. But you'll say, I know that person, he only, has a lot of black money, or something like that. Whether it is true or not, whether it is connected or not, the mind tends to first project the negativity upon others, and that's what we tend to see. Why it is so? See, it has to be connected to the psychology of our ego. When we studied ego, we said this also. The nature of our ego is that it needs to be constantly fed. It needs to be constantly massaged. It needs to be boosted. If you keep on feeding it, it grows more and more and it will feel superior. If you starve it, it will feel inferior. In either case, the focus is upon the ego and it needs to sort of assert itself. When the extroverted mind is there to look into others' character or others' thing, there is a natural tendency of this aspect of the mind to put others down, because by putting others down, psychologically we feel superior. This is what it is. Most of the time, you also analyze yourself. You can analyze maybe others' behavior from time to time with the scope of educating yourself only, nothing else. Okay. Otherwise, we are going against the very basic principle of what this poem says about turning our mind towards others. You are not supposed to judge others. I am saying, if you carefully analyze and notice certain things, it is meant for your education. That we tend to put others down because we want to assert ourselves and our superiority. Now the next question arises as to, why do you want to really assert yourself? This is again an unconscious feeling that everybody feels that he is the greatest, he is the superior most, he is the purest. Even as a person, let us say he goes to the church and confesses his sin, because he feels some agitation is there and he confesses his sin, and he comes out and you call him a sinner, he will get angry. That even that I am aware of my sin and I have confessed that, but you dare not call me sinner, because psychologically I feel I am pure, that because I have at least confessed. I know that I am aware of my negativities or something. That deep core of our personality, we tend to feel that we are pure, and it is universal. All of us tend to feel like this. And no other philosophy can give an explanation to this except Vedanta, which says because your true nature, which is the original self, is pure actually. It is pure. It is superior. It is infinite. It is the best. It is the only thing available. It is, it is that which is the real you. All the qualities of that self, the supreme self or Atma, you unconsciously project it upon the ego, small ego. And that is why we say even this body, it will not die, is a feeling that we have. We are immortal. Why are we feeling that we are immortal? Because you are immortal. And unfortunately, you project that immortality upon this little self, this body. That is not the case. Body will die, but you will never die. The real you in yourself has never died. That is the psychology, that unconsciously we tend to project the real nature of the self upon the immediate self. So that superiority or the ultimate superiority, Aham Brahmasmi, that superiority we do not obviously feel now, we don't understand or feel now, but that limited self of ourself, which is a bubble called ego, that needs to be boosted again and again. For this reason, unconsciously, psychologically, we tend to put others down, and in that extroverted tendency of the mind which always looks out, we tend to easily find the fault of others. So he says, in other men we faults can spy, and blame the mote that dims their eye. Mote is a very small thing. Each little speck and blemish find, to our own stronger errors blind. Now comes the poem, the story. A turkey tired of common food forsook the barn and sought the wood. Of course, the essential message may not be there, but we can derive other messages here and there in the poem as we go along. A turkey tired of common food. Why I have to eat this daily again and again? There is enough, plenty, okay. But it is tired of the common food means it is feeling a monotony. It is feeling bored about this. This is not any different from our own experiences. When everything is going smooth and everything is well set also, the mind suddenly seeks variety. That is the nature of the mind. When we studied the nature of human mind, we said it is like that fire. Insatiably it will want something or the other as variety. So it is tired of the common food. So a monotony or boredom sets into our life. And the mind feels by seeking variety, it can regain back its inspiration also, which will be there for some time, again it will not be there. It will seek something else. That is why a desire can be viewed this way, that till you get something, it appears very big. The moment you get it, it appears small. I mean, you are bored about it, you are tired about it, and then you seek for something more. This is how we treat the objects of desire. This is how the mind desire. You can see that very well in the child also. Till it adamantly gets some toy, it is very valuable. 2 days it will play, or 2 hours it will play. After that, it has no value for it. Like that it is. So like that, we get into this monotony. And so the turkey also has that. A turkey tired of common food forsook the barn and sought the wood. Behind her ran an infant train collecting here and then grain. So the children of the turkey are also following the mother. So this only shows that they just tend to follow the parent. Draw near, my birds, the mother cries, this hill delicious fare supplies. Behold the busy negro race, see millions blacken all the place. Fear not, like me, with freedom eat, an ant is most delightful meat. So the mother has now left the bar, mother turkey, and it has gone to the hill nearby. And in that hill there is enough supply of food. What is the food? Behold the busy negro race. Negro race here refers to the black creatures that are there, which is referring to the black ants. Behold the busy negro race. See millions blacken all the place. It is there everywhere. You can see everything is black here. And that is how the ants, so many ants, so much ants is there. And here is another lesson. Fear not, like me, with freedom eat. An ant is most delightful meat. Most of the habits that are inculcated in children, it is from the parents. You can see that the child is taught in the school, whether it is in first standard, second standard, how to cross the road, zebra crossing, etc. But we know how people generally cross roads in India, particularly in Calcutta also we have seen. When the green signal is there for the cars and red signal is there for the pedestrians also, when there is no car around, they will hold the hand of the child and quickly cross. The child will say that there is a red signal. No, don't worry, this is how it should be and let's go quickly, like that they say. What they don't understand is, this is what they are inculcating in the children's mind. Invariably. You can never blame the children for any of the traits or characteristics that they have acquired. It is all inculcated from the parents. So it is that is why in the molding the children seminar or the talk, the essential lesson is only for parents. There is nothing that needs to be molded in a child, isn't it? The child is a happy creature. We need to learn from the child how to be happy. Rather, we inculcate all the wrong things in the child and make the child also miserable as it grows up. Fear not. Like me, with freedom eat. An ant is most delightful meat. So without fear, keep on eating. This is the message that the mother gives her children. As it has got now so much food, it is meaning the desire that the turkey had, which is a variety of food, and that is satisfied. It is satisfied in plenty also. Immediately the turkey now thinks in terms of its own security. The mind pitches up another desire. This now becomes immaterial. It is sort of taken care of. So immediately the mind pitches up another desire. So this shows the insatiable nature of desires in human mind. How blessed, how envied were our life, could we but escape the poulterer's knife. our lives would have been much, much better. And everybody will envy our life, Turkey's life. When? If only we could escape the poulterer's knife. The poulterer is one who, cuts the chicken and turkey. If we can escape his knife, that will be the best. So now as the desire is getting fulfilled and it is eating whatever it is eating, suddenly the mind pitches up another desire and it is seeking security. This also we see that even as you get your object of desire, you are not fully enjoying it. The mind is worried about something in the future, and in the present also you don't enjoy, so your present happiness is always pegged to something future, which results in perpetual misery. Eternally we are miserable. How blessed, how envied where our life could we but escape the poulterer's knife. It goes on to describe, and it is in that extreme anger and hatred towards man, it is cursing, and man cursed man on Turkey prays, and Christmas shortens all our days. It is probably a tradition in Christmas that people kill turkey and eat. It is considered to be something special. We do not know why. Sometimes with oysters we combine, sometimes assist the savory shine. Shine is a backside of a pig. So along with the dish, this is also served maybe. So the turkey is served with oysters, turkey is served with pork, whatever it is. From the low peasant to the lord, the turkey smokes on every board. And he says everybody, whether it is a rich person or poor person, everybody is having turkey. This is the complaint. Now, this is a very, this is one of the key points of the poem. So one is that it is seeking variety now in terms of security, but what is it complaining about? It is complaining about a human being who kills turkey on Christmas days. So Swamiji gives this calculation. It is incidentally there in talk book also, you can listen. Generally, if you think that one turkey can be consumed by 6 people, average, then one person consumes one turkey in 6 years. If we calculate that they are killing turkey on Christmas days. So the turkey complains of a human who is killing the turkeys on Christmas days. But what is actually the turkey doing? The turkey is actually killing millions of ants, okay, if not millions, thousands of ants, nation of ants, society of ants, a group of ants. The entire thing is killed for what? One breakfast. One breakfast. And this is what an ant is going to point out. Sure, men for gluttony are cursed, of 7 deadly sins the worst. The 7 deadly sins are pride, covetousness, wrath, envy, gluttony, sloth, lechery. Sure, men for gluttony are cursed, of 7 deadly sins the worst. Again, you can understand one psychology in this line. It is saying there are 7 sins probably given in the Christian faith about these 7 deadly sins that we read about now, in which gluttony is one of them. Another thing is envy, another thing is anger, all those things are given there. But what the turkey says is, this is the worst sin. Gluttony is consuming voraciously, more and more and more without any control you are eating. That is considered to be a sin. And it says of the 7 deadly sins, this is the worst. So we can even understand this psychology. The moment you have pinpointed a mistake in others, you will exaggerate to such a point that that is the worst of all. It may or may not be the worst, we do not know. But when you compare to anger and all, I do not know if gluttony can be said as the worst. But the turkey will say that is the worst because it is affected by it. So I will have to project and view whatever I am going to say only from my limited perspective. That is how the mind operates. Sure, men for gluttony are cursed, of 7 deadly sins, this is the worst. Now one ant which escapes the turkey, it goes by the nearby branch in a tree. An ant who climbed beyond her reach thus answered from the neighboring beech. Beech is a forest tree there, so it climbs beyond the turkey because it cannot catch it. And now what is the ant saying? This is what is given in a special character, italicized way. So these 4 lines can be memorized. Ere you remark another sin, bid thy own conscience look within. Control thy more voracious bill, nor for a breakfast nation skill. Before you point out the mistake of others, please look into yourself. Control thy more voracious bill. You control your eating, you control your bill, your beak, which is constantly killing all the ants. For a breakfast, you don't kill one nation of ants. So a man may consume turkey once in 6 years, but this turkey is killing thousands or millions of ants for one breakfast. So here is an important thought for us. The essential lesson of this poem, we said, is this extroverted tendency where we are able to easily spot the mistake of others. That energy that we use to spot the mistake of others is the only energy that we need to go introvert and correct ourselves. We have heaps and heaps of karma of the past, dirt of the past, which we need to cleanse. We do not know how long it will take. Better focus on that. You are given a human birth to work on that. But without doing anything about it, maybe adding to that, you are only focusing on the outside world and finding faults in others. It is easy to find faults in others, as you see. Now the question that you need to think about is it talking about a different fault that we have, that we are missing, or is it the same fault? If it is different fault, it is easy to explain also. See, I have some faults, others have some fault, but even as I point my finger at others, 3 fingers are pointing at me, I am not able to see my own fault. That fault which I have may be different, and that we miss, that is possible. But here, in this poem, we are given a scenario which is the same thing. Turkey is complaining about a man who is consuming turkeys. At the same time, it is consuming thousands or millions of ants. It is the same sin. Is it possible that we miss our same fault also? The answer is yes, we do miss. This is what you need to think about. Usually what happens is, what you immediately see and project upon others is what is your trait inside only. Duryodhana will clearly see everybody as negative because his mind is full of negativity, and that is what will get projected upon others. And it is surprising actually. We very easily say, why does he not even see this? See, there are some people who give instructions to the maid servant or a peon in the company or something like that. You go to that place. If he is not available, then you need to call that person where he is found. Then you need to deliver this. If he is not there, you give me a call. Then I will tell you what to do. And then if he is there, you please deliver this and come. Something they will give 1,000 instructions like this. And obviously, the person who is a maid servant or a peon is working under you just to take your instructions and do whatever he is supposed to do. The fact that he is in that position because he has not cared to develop his thinking, and that is why he is comfortable listening to others and doing whatever he is doing. Once this is not done properly, they will say, look at that person, he doesn't have even small thinking capacity. No clarity at all. I clearly gave all the instructions, but he is not able to finish the job. Very, very clearly they will say this. But analyze this. If you had clarity in the beginning, will you even confuse that person to such an extent and give all the instructions like that? Go there, give this and come. Something like that. It must be made very simple for him. If there is any problem also, you arrange it in such a way that it is simple for him to execute that action. That is your clarity. But we very clearly, we don't see our lack of clarity at all. But very clearly we see that the other person lacks clarity. This is exactly it will happen, and it will be much more in us. It will be much more in us. I can very clearly say that when I listen, you don't When I talk, you don't listen to me at all. Where is your concentration? You tend to forget whatever I am saying. And I am not even ready for other person to respond or anything, because whatever the other person has said, I have forgotten 1,000 times. I am not concentrating. But very clearly I will say that the other person is not concentrating. So therefore, this poem gives a very important lesson that when you are at least a little sane later, when your intellect comes little, all this is question of awareness. We just don't have awareness. Okay, when the awareness comes, you have to turn yourself inward and see if the same blemish that you have, and probably you have, that is what you need to correct. All the energy that we use for criticizing others is the energy that we need to correct ourselves. And incidentally, these 4 lines, Swamiji says his father used to educate them indirectly like this. Whenever a child also, it is constantly pointing out to others and thinking about what others have done wrong and other things, you listen to it patiently. But indirectly, how you educate the child is, you don't even look at the child, but look at somewhere else and you say, here you remark another sin, but thy own conscience look within. This thought really should get established in that person. So it is like internalizing the problem. Before you even complain about others, complaining tendency of the mind is that which comes naturally out of it. So that which naturally comes out of you is a tendency that you also have inside. I leave you with a quote of Swami Ramatirtha. He says, it is a thieving mind that sees the thief. It is a thieving mind that sees the thief. When the neighbor comes into your house, oh, you see, this person has come, he is going to waste my time, always a gossip monger and other things. All these things, how you are able to project upon that? Because you have that tendency in you. The child in your house, which is 1 year old, 2 year old, it will laugh at a thief also, it will laugh at a neighbor also, it will laugh at a postman also. It will not know who is what. Because why? The mind of the child is very pure. So, it is what we have inside is what we very easily and clearly see outside, but we fail to see it inside. So, this is a very classical poem which talks about these 2 tendencies. So, the 2 main things that are discussed in this poem is the insatiable nature of human desire, the extroverted tendency of the mind, where we see the faults very easily in others, but we fail to see within ourselves. We will just listen to Swamiji's commentary, read in his own words. It is there given in the talk book also. It is nice. Even the in the beginning, what we read out is by Swamiji. What is read out as the poem is by Swamiji himself.
A turkey lived in a barn with her young ones. She had abundant grain to feed on, but she was not satisfied. She desired a variety in food. So she left the barn to pursue a desire. Soon she found ants, millions of them. As she feasted on the delightful meat, she entertained yet another desire, to escape the butcher's knife. She desired personal security. So does your mind go on desiring. Your desires are endless, insatiable. You can never find contentment through indulgence in your desires. You gain fulfillment only by rising above them. Your intellect must pitch up a higher ideal in life. When you identify with an ideal, you rise above the lower desires. The poem also highlights the human weakness of being extroverted. It is easy to find faults in others, but difficult to recognize your own. Even when your faults are far greater than others. The turkey was destroying a nation of ants for a breakfast. Unmindful of a grievous act, she complains of man killing a turkey for Christmas. The poet draws your attention to your own errors and omissions. Before you point your accusing finger at another, learn to look within. Ensure that you are free from that blemish. Introspect. Analyze your own self. Thus, if each takes care of oneself, the world will automatically be taken care of. The poem cautions humanity against two great impediments to peace and progress in life. One, the insatiable nature of human desires. Two, the tendency to be extrovert and not introvert.
Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.